Welcome back to Fox 31 News at 10. I'm Nicole Williams.
And I'm Aaron Leedy. The Lee County school system will be hosting a school safety hearing with state leaders on Friday from 10 to noon. The Georgia State Senate School Safety Committee will be at the Lee County High School to discuss school safety. According to Superintendent Jason Miller, state leaders will be seeking input from the community to address concerns and questions when it comes to safety at school. Miller says one concern is making upgrades to school buildings that were built decades ago.
Were built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so at the time they were built, school safety as we conceive of it today was not an issue, and so we have to go back and spend a lot of money to update.
Miller says the safety hearing will be open to the community. The committee has been traveling to different school districts in the state. Their goal is to find out what they can do to help schools locally to make sure students are safe in the classroom.
And if you have kids going back to school right now, you may be like other families worried about safety. Violent incidents more than doubled from the previous school year, according to the Educator School Safety Network. So what is Congress doing about it? Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman has more.
They've begged for action, marched on Washington, and threatened to vote lawmakers out if they don't make schools safer. But as students head back to class, like at the Parkland, Florida high school where 17 teenagers and staff were killed, they are frustrated and asking, what has Congress done?
Congress has passed the Stop School Violence Act, and that legislation did include about $1.5 billion over the next several years.
To make sure that when the school systems are built, that they are built in a manner that's more secure.
Making sure they have metal detectors or getting school resource officers.
Critics argue lawmakers haven't done much more than that, so states are. In Florida, you now have to be 21 to buy a gun. Oregon banned people with stalking, domestic violence charges, or restraining orders from having firearms, and Rhode Island will allow some specially trained teachers to be armed in school. If Congress isn't able or willing to do more, then how much of the responsibility falls on the White House and this administration? Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen, who's heading up the president's School Safety Commission, tells us they're providing cash and sharing a list of best practices, including their own.
Whether it's in an aviation environment or whether it's for federal building, the way security works best is when you have many layers. So if one fails for some reason, you have another layer and another layer.
Though many are demanding stricter federal gun laws too, and on that, Congress has been quiet.
This legislation, unfortunately, sits there with only Democratic support and no Republican support.
Unless we change the lawmakers, we'll never be able to change the laws to assure that our schools are safer.
In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
That brings us to tonight's question of the day. Have Congress and the administration done enough to make schools safer? You can vote by visiting our website at wfxl.com/question.
A principal in New Jersey found a practical way to end some vicious bullying. He discovered students coming to school in unwashed clothes were being harassed both in person and online. But now kids who don't have laundry services at home can take care of cleaning up right at school. Lisa Rosner has the details.
Let's get this, poor. Get that.
Students at Westside High School are picking up a new skill this year, a life skill, doing their laundry.
I just seen a few kids in the back of the class talk about one of the people in front of the class, how they smell, and how their clothes look and dirty.
Students are limited in what colors they can wear because of a school dress code. Rising senior Deshaun Latham says he only gets to the laundromat once every 2 weeks.
The money, like my mother don't be home, she working, and I gotta call her, and sometimes she don't get paid.
The barrier so bad, Principal Akbar Cook says kids were missing school. 85% of kids missing 3 to 5 days of school a month.
Over and over again, parents and students were telling you they weren't coming to school because they couldn't wash their clothes.
Yes, they was being bullied. And it wasn't just on, like in the building, it was on Snapchat. I'm sitting behind you, I take a picture of your collar, and then I'm like, look at this dirty guy.
So he spent the last 2 years securing a $20,000 grant from PSE&G and getting labor from the Newark school system to turn the old football team locker room into a free on-campus laundromat with commercial-grade machines.
5 washers, 5 dryers. I got a slop sink right here. These are the washers.
The laundry room will be available to students every day after school from 3 to 6, and they can get escorted by a teacher if they have an urgent need. Plus, they don't have to worry about laundry supplies. Donations have poured in.
There are many times that the students may come in because they're embarrassed, they don't look the same, somebody's complaining about a body odor. I would say, okay, baby, then we're gonna have to do it the old way. You have soap, you have water. But now with this laundry room, we don't have to do that.
The principal hoping this will wash away the vicious cycle of bullying.
That's a great story. Well, people from across the country are reacting to this story on social media tonight. Farrah Monroe says, "This is awesome. I wish one of the big brands would donate some laundry supplies for life. I think I'll send some myself. You have to start somewhere." And Janice Simon says, "Excellent. I've made arrangements for washing at school many times before. Number one thing is caring for your students' well-being."
All right, 10:36 right now. Here's a look at our radar. Starting to see some showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder cross over the border and over the river. Keeping an eye on these as they move into southwest Georgia. Right now, nothing severe moving through. Isolated showers possible in our western neighborhoods with these storms starting to move into the state. Here's a look at what we're expecting through the overnight tonight. Temperatures cooling into the low 70s. Mostly cloudy conditions with patchy fog possible through the morning. Winds will be from the southwest 5 to 10 miles an hour. And at the bus stop tomorrow, morning commute at 74 degrees. By lunchtime, 84 for that ride home. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 80s.
New at 10, hear how the FDA is extending expiration dates for some EpiPens.